Oh. And in a nick of time,
Call W Smith, 760 WJR.
well, here we go. Oh, no, that light's not good. That's too bright. Maybe I push this down like that, and I get a shadow. Yes, it's as if it's the first time every time, ladies and gentlemen. But it isn't. It's just the start of a new week. Because it's Monday! Brian Morton is back. Everybody's where they should be on this 8th day of the month of March. Did we beware the Ides of March already? The 67th day of 2021. There are 298 days left in the year. Make each and every day count. Each day is a gift. And we've got the team here together on this Monday. And we're looking at Marie Osborne, who just presented all of the news fit to print and then some, as they say at the New York Times. We also have Dana Clark here taking care of the traffic and weather and whatever else is on her mind. We've got Brian Morton back from vacation. I'm not sure if Kim is up yet or not, but I am, and our executive producer never sleeps. Good morning, Ann Thomas.
Good morning, Dub. Happy Monday.
I'm experimenting with my lighting. I don't know if it's too much like mood lighting here or
Got
if it's
some mood
okay.
light for us.
When I had my overhead lights on, though, I looked like there was shiny spots, so I don't know. But now I'm kind of in the dark, so to speak.
It's a shiny Monday, though.
It is a shiny Monday.
Spartans.
Well,
Great morning for the Spartans.
it was a great night for the Spartans. Emotional night for Mr. Izzo.
Yes.
An emotional night. And they're in the playoffs, right? So, I mean, they made it to their where everyone was worried they weren't going to make it. They made it. So I think it was nice of Michigan to let them win last night so that they... Any reaction, anybody? So the Spartans won that game and did a great job. But really, what are we doing talking about? There's so many things. It's National Peanut Cluster Day. It's Be Nasty Day. It's International Working Women's Day. Hang on, there's one more underneath here. It's paper stuck together. Oh, who cares? Because all that matters is it's Oprah's Day.
Yay.
Oh, yeah, another episode of The Crown. Oh, no, wait.
Oh, right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's right.
That's what that was.
One of the greatest lines leading up to this was somebody said, wow, royalties speaking with Harry and Meghan. What did you guys think?
That was
thought
very
it was
sad.
No,
Wait a
right?
minute, what?
It was.
Yeah.
What?
Sorry, I have a
Say that again, Marie.
Yeah, I didn't hear it. I heard a bunch
Go ahead,
of
Marie.
What did you guys think? Marie first.
I thought it was a bombshell. I mean, I just couldn't. I mean, it was very serious allegations that were leveled against the royal family. I don't think they've ever had anything quite like that said in public about them. Really disgraceful, actually, if it's true.
Yes, and I believe every word of it. Let's start with that. I think it's really sad that they're still carrying on this facade and in 2021. Like if someone goes to you for help, which Meghan said she did, she felt suicidal, and they're not giving any help. I mean, what's the point of being in the royal family? You should have access to everything. And so it's despicable is what it is, if I can say that. It's bad behavior. Where's Elliot?
Bad behavior.
Bad behavior.
Where's Ellie?
Oh, Elliot, Brian's little grandson said a long time ago, bad behavior. Oh, maybe you were off, Paul.
I must have been
No,
off.
you were on. It was that little tape that Brian played for us, Paul.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought
oh,
we were
okay.
little
All
Elliot
right.
talks about misbehavior.
Yeah.
All right, I got it.
Really cute.
But did anyone come away feeling differently about Harry or Meghan? Because I've heard some things already about not believing her, liking him more, liking her more, liking her less. I mean, there's a lot that went on there. We'll see. It was complicated, as our friend Congresswoman Dingell would say. It was complicated. It is 5:43 at WJR.
This report is sponsored by Lions Clubs International.
We are Lions. We bring hope where it's needed, support causes that matter, change lives, change communities, change the world. Visit lionsclubs.org to learn more.
Let's learn more about what's going on the roadways. Our WJR traffic and weather first. Miss Dana Clark.
We do have a couple of problems, unfortunately, starting off the drive. Traffic first, sponsored by Window World. Call Window World, 1-800-NEXT-WINDOW for your window door siding project. Get 0% financing for 60 months. Window World is America's largest exterior replacement remodeler and a trusted team partner of WJR's Inside Outside Guys. Call 1-800-NEXT-WINDOW or visit windowworlddetroit.com. We do have a closure, 96 eastbound between Beck and Novi Road. Traffic is stopped from Wixom due to a multi-vehicle crash. Then along 96 eastbound at the Southfield Freeway, traveling eastbound in those local lanes. A wreck is blocking the right shoulder and left lane. And the Southfield Freeway southbound between 7 Mile and McNichols, accident there blocks the right lane. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by North Bloomfield Properties. If you're looking for a place to call home, let North Bloomfield Properties find the best place for you and your family. They also provide pre-screened quality tenants to their property owners. They love to match good people to good homes. Contact them today, northbloomfield.com.
Quite a warm up here for the start of the week. Mix of clouds and sunshine today. Breezy with a gusty southwest wind. Temperatures climb all the way up into low 60s this afternoon, about 20 degrees above average. 34 tonight. We're in and out of the clouds tomorrow, upper 50s. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ken Boone on Newstalk 760 WJR.
$28 degrees at 5:45, and let's take care of a little other business, kind of as a tribute to the effect Rush Limbaugh has had on all of us. He lives on with some of his thoughts, especially here in the morning.
Well, the New York Times published an article the other day that must have made every liberal reader orgasmic. Silicon Valley billionaires are remaking American scrolls. Some of them are offering grants to encourage innovation. Others, like Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook, are taking a more profitable approach. He's got software in 100 schools which supposedly puts kids in charge of their own learning and turns teachers into facilitators and mentors. Obviously, if his software takes off, it's a huge market and paid for by taxpayers, not Zuckerberg. Now, while these rich and influential titans of technology are focused on education, millions of students are serving as de facto beta testers for their ideas, as the Times puts it anyway. That's sure to bring a smile to every liberal. I mean, this has all the elements: rich, successful, progressive tech gurus on federal subsidies giving back to the community, beta testing their kids. But in reality, this is a damning indictment of the state of public education. And all the money American taxpayers have poured into it for decades, we ought to have the best education system in the world now, not years in the future, and we shouldn't need these tech titans to do it. Instead, we have massive institutional failure, an education system that has been run into the ground by liberals and their unions in the first place. And unless that's acknowledged, new technology, no matter how great, will not turn it around.
Rush Limbaugh, noon to 3 today, right here on WJR.
All right.
So the former wife of Jeff Bezos has gotten remarried already.
To a
wonder if there was and he is promise to help her spend her billions of dollars. I think that's a sweet, wonderful thing. I do. If there are any billionaires out there, I'd like to say that that's a wonderful offer for somebody. Will you marry me? Yes. And I promise to help you spend your billions of dollars in a philanthropic way. I'm the first philanthropic way I want you to spend that money. That'll be interesting. All right, so back to Meghan and Harry. Dana is all in. She absolutely believes everything that Meghan said. Marie is halfway all in.
Oh,
in analyzing it as a news person. If this is correct, is what you said, then the palace should be ashamed of itself.
Yeah.
I haven't heard what Anne has said.
Did you watch it, Anne?
I didn't watch it.
What? Ah!
Well, I'll have cuts for you, so just listen. You'll hear some of the cuts.
Oh, you didn't watch it?
No.
Even I had to watch it.
Was that a protest, Anne? Was it a protest, or you were just busy doing something else? Or just not interested?
I'm not interested.
Oh, good. All right. That's good.
So I have a little different take on it.
None of us should be interested, but we generally are. We admit that we are because it's got so much hype leading up to it, and it lived up to the hype, and it's Oprah, and she sprang on us, which, I mean, I don't pay attention to what she's doing. I mean, I knew her show wasn't on anymore, and I knew she stopped doing her magazine, but she apparently now has a whole lineup of interviews on some television network. I couldn't tell what it was, but
Discovery Plus,
which I'll never find, I'm sure.
Right.
So, but she had all these people sitting in all these situations, and let's face it, it's a wonderful to sit there and just talk is a wonderful thing. Public broadcasting's been doing that for years, but it's made its way into the commercial world, and it's a great little format. I mean, we sat there, some of us, except Anne, for 2 hours. 2 hours watching this conversation. And you're right, Marie, no royal has ever spoken out like that. And some people, for that alone, won't be happy.
Well, Diana had a pretty deep interview back in the day when she revealed that she had bulimia, and nobody knew that. But it's a shame to see what happened with Diana and what happened with her. Almost as Harry said, he thought history would repeat itself,
right?
Because of the racial thing as well. And they had the nerve, they said, to discuss what the baby's skin color might be. And I totally don't think she was making anything up. I think they tried to keep it quiet as long as possible. But when she said they weren't protected at all and given any assistance, basically Harry is cut off, which is fine. You know, it's their life. They'll be okay. But just the thought of having your family, he doesn't seem to even speak to his dad. Come on, Charles. You went through the same thing.
Charles, after watching The Crown, if any of that's true, any of The Crown is true, I have absolutely so little respect for Charles now. And not that I was a big Charles fan in the first place, but I had no respect after seeing him. What a spoiled little brat he was.
Didn't you see him as trapped as well?
Yes, and Harry he was very compassionate. Bless his heart. He didn't seem to be bitter. He was compassionate and said that they're trapped.
You're hearing the Paul W. Smith Show. News Talk 760 WJR.
5:52, the big and important news of the day in the sports world. Michigan State beat Michigan, so they split the meetings just 3 days apart. I liked the headline. Well, I can't find it real quick, but it talked about this being maybe the series is as important as it's ever been. Or it's I know it here. It's stuck here. In the paper before the game, it said feud fight, rivalry between Spartans and Wolverines appears to be entering its greatest chapter yet. And I just remind us all that to have this kind of a rivalry both teams have to win once in a while. You see, we had a rivalry in football, Michigan, Ohio State. We don't have a rivalry anymore. I mean, we desperately want to beat Ohio State, but until we start winning again, I mean, for years, Michigan beat Ohio State. If you go back many, many years, and there's been this and that, but lately it's been all Ohio State, and we're desperate to get it back to being a rivalry. This basketball game between Michigan and Michigan State is a real rivalry. It's hot.
Yes, absolutely. And now we're moving into the Big Ten.
Right.
So Big Ten games start on Wednesday. I believe Michigan State's first one is Thursday at 10:30 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
30 in the morning.
The first game. Now that's not, I don't know who they're playing.
Right.
But, this weekend will be fascinating because they could end up playing again. Michigan and Michigan State could play again this weekend for the championship.
Wow.
If they get that far. So, yes, March Madness is here.
We should, since it's madness, we should see if they can play one of them at between 5:30 and 9.
Yeah.
And I'll be sure to be up to watch that.
I bet you will.
Yeah. So the Meghan and Harry story from Oprah. You're angry, Dana. I don't want you to be angry.
I'm not angry. I'm not.
No,
I'm not angry. That's not the word.
Angry. That was. I thought that was a page back from like 1906.
Yes.
Some of the things that they were talking about, and it was shocking and surprising. And her questions about whether or not, whether or not her baby would be a prince or a princess. They didn't know the sex at the time. I think, those questions as a mother. I'm sorry, those things really hurt at the core of who, for being a mother.
Well, I was stunned. I mean, wasn't anyone else stunned that they would announce the baby's not going to be in any way, shape, or form a royal, and by the way, there'll be no protection for the baby. What the heck are they talking about? What you can't be born into the royal family and all of a sudden, for no reason at all, be cut off from everything that it means to be in the royal family. Who could blame Harry and Meghan for wanting to get the hell out of Dodge if they were going to have all of the luggage, the baggage that comes with being trapped? I would love to be trapped in a palace.
No, you wouldn't.
It's so hard. Are you kidding? It's so hard to imagine how bad it is to be born a millionaire in a palace in a royal setting. So that's Harry. I know that their little baby, for whatever reason, is not, and there's hell to pay for that. There's going to have to be some explaining on that. But here's the other question that I was asking Kim throughout this thing. Will all those that were named or talked about or situations explained, will anyone from the palace speak up about it, defend themselves, or will they take what used to be the way the royals would react in a time like this? They wouldn't react. They would not even, they wouldn't dignify that with any kind of input or reaction.
That's a really good question.
Option two.
Yeah.
They're not going to say a word.
I don't think the whole family talked, period.
Exactly.
Kind of sad. All this was coming down secondhand.
It'll be very interesting to see how that all turns out, I think, because the family never used to speak, but it is a new day and the family is larger and larger and larger. So they may very well find a duke, a duchess, a prince, a princess somewhere in the royal lineage that might speak up and say, good for her. I'm glad she finally said that. Or I don't know what she's talking about. I have a feeling it's going to be more like good for her. Somebody finally spoke up. We'll see. It is 5:57 at WJR.
This report is sponsored by Lions Clubs International.
We are Lions. We bring hope where it's needed. Support causes that matter. Change lives. Change communities. Change the world. Visit lionsclubs.org to learn more.
I got to tell you, somehow it's more refreshing to talk about this, for example, mindless stories that don't affect us at all, rather than the $1.9 trillion, with only 9% of it actually going in any way, shape, or form to COVID fighting. It's more fun to talk about the Royals than the royal mess, I guess. Let's find out what's happening on our roadways. Our WJR traffic and weather first, Dana Clark.
Traffic First sponsored by Shelving.com. Shelving.com can help you save money and prevent workplace accidents with its free 10-point warehouse safety inspections. They offer in-person and virtual options. Schedule your free inspection today on Shelving.com. Shelving.com, we rack your world. A closure, unfortunately, in Novi, 96 eastbound between Beck Road and Novi Road, shut down there, multi-vehicle crash. Traffic is stopped from Wixom. You can take Grand River or 12 Mile instead. 96 eastbound approaching the Southfield Freeway in your local lanes. Accident blocking the left lane, also blocking the right shoulder, slow from Evergreen. That accident along the Southfield Freeway southbound between 7 Mile and McNichols, that is clear. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Clarkston Window and Door. Over 31 years in business, over 450 combined years of experience installing windows. Trust a specialist at Clarkston Window and Door. Act now to take advantage of 31% off installed windows, doors, and garage doors. 248-338-6781 or clarkstonwindow.com. Well, here we are. We are going to hit 61 today, sun and cloudy mix. Yay! It's going to be nice all week. 21 degrees above normal. So get out, enjoy. Is it time to start doing yard work yet? Probably not. Okay, tonight, partly cloudy skies, your overnight low 34. For Tuesday, clouds and then clouds later, but that doesn't matter. It's still going to be 57. So right now, partly cloudy, 28 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Marie Osborne in about 1 minute.
I like Bob Wells' comment from Paul's Peeps heading into Easter. Sounds like there's a royal swamp.
Yeah, that is a really good. That's a good comment.
Off we go, Peeps.
Yes, that's that's extremely interesting. The fallout on this will be interesting too.
Oh yeah,
because what will people say about them? You know, will they be under any criticism? You know, Harry and Meghan, and will most of the criticism fall toward the royals? You know, how will it kind of flush out once people start talking about it? Very interesting.
Yeah, it'll be fascinating to see. I suspect it will come down to those who love the royals and support them completely and will say this was inappropriate. Mm-hmm. And then there'll be those who say, wow, that's fascinating to get an inside look, or now we know the rest of the story, or whatever. What was, I thought, interesting was that they never, wisely, but it sounded like there was never any reason to attack the Queen. Did you catch that, Dana?
Yeah.
She said the Queen always was treated her very well, was always warm and loving, and she always wanted to be with the Queen. And David says the Queen seems to remain an ally and still the royal leader, but I think the firm, the swamp, has control, and that's probably true. I believe that it's the lifers. We saw that in The Crown. You know, the guys who were behind the scenes that had worked with other people over the years. They had their own ideas about how everything was supposed to be, and that's you're kind of getting that feeling here too.
You know, they also might find they also might find that younger generation isn't willing to stay quiet.
Yes.
That they might have their hands full moving forward. That some of the younger royals that's just not in their DNA to stay quiet like years ago when in order to be in the family, everybody just did what they were told. That might be coming up here.
I think that is changing too.
But I will suggest that those who are involved in all of that will blame Harry for bringing someone in who wasn't in the royal fold and say, this is what you get when you, or worse yet, this is what you get when you introduce an American into our royal family. I mean, I can see that.
I can see that too.
I can only wish that I could be somewhere in Great Britain in the palace at breakfast this morning.
A fly on the wall.
Yeah. I can only imagine. Well, anyway, Clay is asking how relevant is the royal family. Well, it does come down to that. It's a thing. I like the fact that they have a royal family, but I'm like a visitor.
Mm.
You know, for me, it's the pomp and circumstance of standing outside Buckingham Palace, outside the gates, and watching them do the changing of the guard and whatever else. It's all, for me, a tourist kind of a thing. More important for them, since they're supporting them and paying for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't believe that they would announce to them, oh, by the way, your baby will not have any protection.
Yeah,
A.
that's...
And B, why they would announce that your baby would have no royal title.
Were they doing that as a form of punishment? Kind of like, well, you've walked away.
But I
Before.
thought they told them before they walked away.
Before they walked away.
And
like Paul W. said, why should I stay and be subjected to all of this? And I don't have any benefits, any protection,
It's like saying to a large family in the White House, okay, you guys will have Secret Service protection,
Mhm.
but boy, you the last 3 kids, I mean, that's enough.
Yeah.
Too many kids. You can't have Secret Service protection. You go, that's pretty bad.
Right.
Because they're all under scrutiny and under, there's a lot of hate out there in our world today. I mean, a lot of hate out there, sadly and unfortunately. And when you put people in that kind of position that are in the public eye, and people have formulated their own ideas about people they don't even know. I mean, let's face it, people have formulated ideas about Harry and what's her name? They never even heard them speak until last night.
Mm-hmm.
So this either opened some eyes or solidified the way people feel or don't feel about those folks. It's astonishing, though, and I think it's because of the sign of the times that we live in right now, that we even care at all. But it is a great soap opera that takes our mind off the pandemic and the coming tax issues we're all going to end up paying for and all kinds of stuff. So it's kind of better to think about those things, I guess, later, because right now we're not thinking about them. We're just thinking about a little bit of television fluff last night that people will have their own opinion. I will be interested to see if more people come down on Meghan's side than on the royal family side, that she didn't say anything for a reason, or that she knew what she was doing, if she was manipulating or not. I mean, we have to remember, in her own words, she's an actress. And but it sounded all very legitimate to me. The only one that was a little hokey was kind of implying the thing about who made who cry in that circumstance and situation leading up to the wedding. Do you remember what I'm talking about, Dana?
No, what part was that?
That was what's
That was with Kate. That was the Kate.
Oh, Kate.
what was Williams'
Paul
wife's
W.
name?
Smith Show. News Talk 760 WJR.
All right, it's Monday, March 8th, the 67th day of 2021, 298 days left in the year. Make each and every day count. Each day is a gift. I guess the key here is whether you watched Oprah with Meghan and Harry or not, Oprah hasn't lost it. Oprah still has the old magic touch, even though she hasn't been doing her show on a regular basis. Has she been doing a lot of different specials? Anybody?
Yes.
Dana, Marie?
Yes.
I haven't watched. I haven't seen her on television in a long while. So
She's had quite a few interviews and things on Apple Plus, Apple TV that I have watched.
And she's also contributed to Channel 7, to CBS's 60
Right.
Minutes.
60
And so-
Minutes.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
she's
and she did.
occasionally contributed to them.
I haven't seen her lately, but yeah, I do remember her being in that 60 Minutes lineup when they list off 37 people. They all
Yeah.
say their name, and then the other guy comes on at the end and says, And that's all the time we have tonight. We had just enough time to introduce all of our new correspondents on 60 Minutes. So anyway, there'll be stories out there. Oprah with Meghan and Harry, 9 major bombshells from the tell-all interview. I think one of the bombshells.
9?
What's that?
Who's counting? 9?
Yeah, 9. That's what they have. So I didn't know, maybe you guys, because you follow this more closely than I do, that they actually got married before the big wedding that we watched.
I didn't know that. Did anybody else?
So that was the bombshell. That was one of the bombshells.
I
That has to be. I mean, that's, if you didn't know it, then nobody knew it. So, no, I'm serious. I mean, you're a news person and you follow this stuff.
I
And
hear that. Yeah.
so the point is, we all were duped
Oh, jeez.
because they were already married. But that was interesting.
But
The
why
other-
were they already married? Is that
they snuck off.
But
No,
why?
she said that they wanted to have a private moment between the two of them, that was what was important to them, was their union together, not all the pomp and circumstance they knew was coming their way
Well, let's
a
be
day or two down the line.
Yeah, and let's face it, you try to write 2 billion thank you notes. Because there were 2 billion people tuned into the fake wedding, as it now turns out, because they were married several days earlier with the Canterbury, the Archbishop of Canterbury presiding. So that was interesting. That was something we didn't know. We found out that she's expecting a girl. I don't think anybody knew that. Here's what's astonishing. What does Oprah do to make sure that her crew doesn't spill the beans?
True.
I mean,
Probably NDAs.
those, I don't know when they taped this a while ago, and the crew was walking around knowing that the next baby was going to be a girl. And I didn't hear a word about that. I mean, that's something that would have blared on somebody's headlines.
Well, Paul, if you're doing an interview, the three of us would keep our mouths shut.
When I tape an interview, you won't say a word to anyone about whatever it
If you
is.
don't cross Mama Oprah, you don't
No.
work. You probably won't work again.
I
You'll
guess not.
never work again.
I
That's
guess
exactly right.
So the story I was talking about off air, I think here was several months after the Duke and Duchess got married, tabloid headlines began to circulate a story that claimed that Markle made Kate Middleton, Duchess of Cambridge and Markle's new sister-in-law, cry in the days leading up to the wedding ceremony due to an issue regarding the flower girls' dresses. But as Markle divulged to Winfrey, the reverse happened. The flower girls' dresses had indeed been a point of contention, but it was Middleton who made Markle cry and not the other way around.
And then she was upset because the palace did not clarify, when that story came out, to say this is not true. That's what Meghan was upset that the palace didn't come out and say.
We learned a lot that if from Meghan's take on this, that she was not protected at all after the palace said, "Don't worry, we'll protect you," and their PR department never did anything. And I think one of the great examples was something about eating an avocado. And it showed how when Kate ate avocados, it was in loving care of her baby that was inside her, and she was giving her the right food, or giving him the right food and taking care. And when Meghan ate an avocado, it was like horrible. It was they attacked her based on avocado workers not having rights, or I don't know.
Water that it takes to grow an avocado.
It was a total, and they put the two stories side by side. That was pretty compelling.
Yeah,
I think that she got a very rough way to go. So they did not protect her or welcome her or use any of their considerable power to help her.
Well,
And
but she also made the point that the family was separate than the firm or the palace, the operations of the palace, that she loved the queen. She had very good feelings, right, towards the queen, but it was the machine of the palace that she just had such issues with.
so, but what I don't understand is, and that's a good point, Marie, is if the machine, I love calling him The Firm. That was a great book.
Yes.
That was a great movie, The Firm. But when Harry and she were informed when they said they were pregnant and all of that, we talked about this earlier, that their son or daughter would not be made a prince or princess, which would be a curious break of protocol for new members of the royal family. So I understand that it was the firm or some other people making this kind of decision. But what I don't understand is why the most powerful person in the room, the Queen,
Right.
wouldn't have stepped up and said, "Excuse me, wait a minute, what? My grandchild or my great-grandchild will not be a royal? Excuse me?" I mean, why wouldn't she speak up?
That's a good question.
Because she really has no power. She's
Oh, no. Is that what it comes down to?
I mean, I would scream at the TV at the Crown, like, what? She can't do anything. Basically, she's the smiling face, and that's it. She makes no decisions.
Wow. And now we know the rest of the story. I don't know if I'm going to make it through the morning now. The Queen has no clothing. The Empress has no
Yes.
clothing. Or
Yes.
whatever the saying might be for this moment. No power. The Queen. That's a frightening thought. It is indeed. Let's just take a moment and let that soak in at 6:14.
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies.
Dell's semi-annual sale for business has arrived. Enjoy specials on Dell docks, monitors, and servers, plus up to 45% off the latest Dell business computers powered by Intel Core processors. So call 877-ASK-DELL to speak with a Dell Technologies advisor. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Let's ask Dana, our WJR traffic and weather first with Miss Clark.
Yes, it is still closed in Novi. Traffic First, sponsored by the Metro Detroit chapter of Sheet Metal and Air Conditioning Contractors National Association, SMACNA. SMACNA contractors fabricate, install, and service heating and cooling, ventilation systems, build metal roofing, and much more for your commercial, industrial, public, or residential project. They take all the necessary precautions, getting the job done right and on time. Hire Detroit's best. Visit smacnad.org. 96 eastbound shut down between Beck and Novi Road, multi-vehicle accident there. Traffic backed up from Wixom. You can take Grand River or 12 Mile instead. 96 eastbound approaching the Southfield Freeway. That's in your local lanes. Accident blocks the left lane and right shoulder. Seeing those delays from Evergreen. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Shelving.com. Shelving.com can help you save money and prevent workplace accidents. With its free 10-point warehouse safety inspections, they offer in-person and virtual options. Schedule your free inspection today on Shelving.com. Shelving.com, we rack your world.
Much warmer for us out there today. Mix of clouds and sun, breezy. Low 60s this afternoon. Fair to partly cloudy skies overnight tonight, 34. We're in and out of the clouds. Tomorrow, temperatures remain well above average, upper 50s. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ken Boone on News Talk 760 WJR.
20